Session is called to order. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, temas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong baghang, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nanginginig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng warangit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mamapit, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please remain standing for a minute of silent prayer and meditation. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we call the roll of members.
the Secretary is directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members, honorable representatives. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Asharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adyong, Adbincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Aglipay Bilyar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Atienza, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barzaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biazon, Billones, Biron, Bolilia, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Rosas, Bulot Begtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Hari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Pred, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Shipeco, Coanco, Colliantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, Del Oso Montalia, Dimaporo Abdullah, Dimaporo Muhammad, Duabit, Durano, D, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ebardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fuentebella, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzalez Alexandria, Gonzalez Aurelio, Gonzalez Fernando, Goriseta, Gulias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hopper, Halos Hos, Javier, Ko, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liacion, Lee, Lim Kaishong, Lobregat, Lopez Benhar, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato Suharto, Mangudadato Sahid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radaza, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Rebilla, Rowapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sangkopan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Mary, Sabeliano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrelita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, C. Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny, Tejada, Tebes, Tiangco, Ting, Tinio, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villafuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Violago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate Subiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 231 members responded to the call.
With 231 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. The majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, considering that copies of the journal of the previous session have been distributed to the members, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal.
Is there an objection to the motion? The chair is none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval of the journal of the previous session, journal number 73.
Is there an objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the guests of the Honorable Jericho Jonas Raglares, Big Keys Task Force, headed by its Director Felix Cabugnasan, and the President Rolando Cabungason, and then all the other members present.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to request for the acknowledgement of the guests of the Honorable Kakabag-Ao from the Lone District of Dinagat Island. They are the local government officials from the Municipality of Dinagat, Province of Dinagat Island, led by the Vice Mayor Petnel Sombrado, together with all the Sangguniang Bayan members, the Liga ng Mga Barangay President Elvin Patulin, and Secretary to the Sangguniang Bayan Maria Vivian Flores.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, likewise, may I ask to be acknowledged the presence of the guests of the Honorable Deputy Minority Leader Jose Lito Atienza Jr. from Buhay Party List, mga kababaihan ng Maynila, Kababaihan Laban sa Divorce, Coalition for the Defense of the Filipino Pamilya, and Servants of Jesus and Mary.
Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, may I also ask to be acknowledged the guests of the Honorable Sabiniano Canama and the Honorable Anthony Bravo from the Co-op NATCO Party List, the cooperative officers from Bislig City and councilors from Tangob City, Misamis Occidental in today's session, and the cooperative officers led by Almar Otida, and officials from the Tangob City Council, and the officials of the Tangob City Council, Mr. Speaker.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of the bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports.
The Secretary is directed to read the titles of the bills and resolutions, as well as committee reports for first reading.
Reference of business, bills on first reading, House Bill 7347, requiring traffic impact assessment as an integral part of the environmental impact statement system. Representative Baco.
To the Committee on Land Use and the Committee on Housing and Urban Development.
House Bill 7348, mandating the turnover of seized smuggled rice to the NFA. Representative Bernos.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food and the Special Committee on Food and Security.
House Bill 7349 is institutionalizing telecommuting in the workplace. Representative Del Rosario.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Bill 7350, declaring for a mandatory chip of the academic calendar of all public and private schools, Representative Gonzales Aurelio Dong.
to the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and Committee on Higher Technical Education,
House Bill 7351, adjusting the penalties for the violation of the Truth in Lending Act, Representative Romero.
to the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries,
House Bill 7352, amending Republic Act Number 8479, Representative Gomark.
to the Committee on Energy,
House Bill 7353, promoting outcome-based education, Representative C. Alvarado.
to the Committee on Banks and Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 7354, establishing job placement offices in public high schools, Representative C. Alvarado.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Bill 7356 and 7358, mandating the establishment of district hospitals in Masbate, Representative Lanete.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 7357, converting the Kawayan District Hospital, Representative Lanete.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 7359, requiring public telecommunications entities to provide nationwide mobile number portability, Representative Nieto.
to the Committee on Information and Communications Technology,
House Bill 7360, redefining the term indigent senior citizen, Representative Nieto.
to the Committee on Population and Family Relations,
House Bill 7361, promoting the safety of residents, tenants, and guests, especially children in buildings, whether public or private, Representative Gomez.
to the Committee on Housing and Urban Development,
House Bill 7364, rationalizing the grant and administration of fiscal incentives, Representatives Garin and Batocabe.
to the Committee on Ways and Means,
House Bill 7368, granting Manila Cockers Club Inc. a franchise to construct, operate, and maintain cockpit arenas, Representative Giloyola.
to the Committee on Legislative Franchise,
House Bill 7369, declaring the province of Catanduanes as Abaca capital of the Philippines, Representative Cesar Sarmiento.
to the Committee on Agriculture and Food,
Resolution, House Solution 1754, direct the Committee on Agriculture and Food to inquire into the lack of government intervention on the worsening crop infestation in several parts of the Eastern Visayas, Representatives Bosas, De Jesus, several others.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Solution 1755, inquiring on the encampment by the military of public places and near schools, Representative Tino Castro Zarate, several others.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Solution 1756, direct the Committee on Muslim Affairs to inquire to determine the present state of Bangon Marawi Comprehensive Rehabilitation and Recovery Program, Representative Sangkopan and Mending.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Solution 1758, seeking to rectify the unlawful appointment of Cesar Gilbert Adriano as Director of the National Library, Representative Baliano.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Solution 1759, inquiring on the non-implementation of the provision of Republic Act 4670, Representatives Tino and Castro.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Solution 1760, calling for an investigation on the lack of intelligence by the PNP, Representatives Dimaporo and Papandayan.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Joint Resolution 20, appropriating the amount of 1,161,710,000 for the hospital expenses of children vaccinated with Invaxia, Representative Gonzales Aurelio Dong.
to the Committee on Appropriations,
Messages from the Senate. Message dated March 8, informing the House that the Senate on March 7 adopted House Concurrent Resolution number 14.
to the Committee on Rules,
Message dated March 8, informing the House that on March 7, the Senate designated Senators Binay as additional conferee to the Bicameral Conference Committee on the conflicting provisions of Senate Bill 1461 and House Bill 7054.
to the Committee on Rules,
Communications. Letter dated February 13 of Secretary Adelino S. B. Sitoy, Presidential Advisor on Legislative Affairs.
to the Committee on Appropriations,
Letter dated February 13 of Grace Relucio Princesa, Assistant Secretary, DLLU, DFA.
to the Committee on Appropriations,
Committee reports, report number 656 on House Bill number 7373.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 657 on House Resolution 1767.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 658 on House Bill number 7376.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 659, House Bill number 5236.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 660 on House Bill number 7378.
to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Teddy Bagilat, Congressman, Lone District of Ifugao. They are 22 students and 4 teacher guests from various schools in Ifugao, namely Kiangan National High School, St. Joseph School, and Ifugao State University.
Please rise to be recognized. The guest of Congressman Bagilat.
Mr. Speaker, may you please acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Divine Grace Yu from the 1st District of Zamboanga City. They are the members of the Philippine Councilors League from the different municipalities of the 1st District of Zamboanga del Sur.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, may you please acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Magnolia Rosa Antonino, 4th District of Nueva Ecija. They are the members of the Nueva Ecija Court Number 31, Order of the Amaranth.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, may you please recognize the Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, Representative Lito Atienza of Buhay Party List.
The Honorable Atienza is recognized. What is the pleasure of the Honorable Gentleman?
We would like to bring to the attention of this body a very important matter that is now affecting the city of Manila and the whole country as well. Simply because we are missing a national treasure.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, we stand today on a matter of personal and collective privilege to bring to the attention of the members of Congress, this particular Congress, that in Manila, there used to be a national treasure in the office of the mayor. Ito po yung obra maestra, a masterpiece of art done by our national artist, Botong Francisco. This was commissioned by the city of Manila, spending the money of the people of Manila, and commissioned by the good mayor, Mayor Antonio Villegas of the city of Manila, to be done by the great artist, Botong Francisco. This is not an ordinary painting, Mr. Speaker. It's a painting that depicts the history, the historical, cultural character of the islands. Hindi po ito isang piraso, ito po isang mural na bumibilang ng mga 40 metro. 40 meters of a masterpiece that the great artist Botong Francisco created before he passed away in 1968. From 1965, when this was finished, the halls of the mayor's office, the reception hall of the mayor's office was decorated by this masterpiece. Lahat po ng pumupunta sa Maynila ay nakakakita ng isang obra maestra, larawan ng ating minamahal na bansang Pilipinas sa pamamagitan po ng kulay na iginuhit ng ating national artist na Botong Francisco. Ito po ay nag-umpisa ang term ng present mayor, Mayor Erap Estrada. Napansin ko po nung ako'y pumunta ng kanyang panunumpa, wala na po yung painting. At ito ay napalitan ng isang tarpaulin duplicate made out of a tarpaulin material done, I'm sure, to replace the masterpiece of Botong Francisco. Nung amin pong siniyasat at tinanong, saan napunta itong national treasure na ito, na wala pong maaaring magbigay ng halaga kung ito'y estimahin bilyong piso ang halaga nito. Pero hindi po pwedeng ito'y tawaran sapagkat ito'y hindi na mauulit muli. This is a piece that will go on for centuries where Manilans and the Filipinos can be proud of. Ang sinabi nila, ito raw po ay pinaparestore. By whom and by what authority, Wala po silang isinagot. Nagdaan ng maraming taon, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, ngayon po ay 2018, and the painting is still not there. Kahapon po ako'y nagpunta ron at siniyasat ko, nakita ko po talaga, tarpaulin pa rin ang nakakabit at yung painting na original ay wala po ron. Kaya ang aking pong mensahe sa atin lahat ngayon, sa hapong ito, ay dapat lang siyasatin ng ating Kongreso. Saan napunta ang painting na ito ng ating dakilang pintor and national artist, one and only, Botong Francisco? Saan po at saan dinala ito? At kung sino man ang nagbigay ng authority to bring it out of the premises of City Hall of Manila should be made to explain. At kung itong ating kasalukuyang mayor po naman ay may ginagawa, hayaan natin siyang magsabit, magpaliwanag ano ang ginagawa upang maibalik muli itong obra maestra na ito. Sapagkat ito ay maituturing nating pinakamalaking pagnanakaw. Sabihin ko pong pagnanakaw. Sapagkat kung wala pa hanggang ngayon, ay malamang ninakaw. Kung ito po ay hindi maibabalik, kailangan panagutin ang lahat ng kinauukulan. We cannot let it go. We cannot let it pass without this Congress taking note that if it can be done in the capital city of Manila, where a masterpiece of a maestro can disappear and continue to disappear, it can happen anywhere, whether we are in the city of Cebu or city of Abra or any city in the Philippines where national treasures are kept. And we can lose all of them without anybody complaining. So I am filing this information today in this chamber, and unless we get an answer immediately from those concerned, Mayor Erap, we are appealing to you. Do something about it, otherwise we will have to do something about it by the people of Manila and the people of the Philippines. Because this is not just a property of Manila. This is a property of the national heritage, property of each and every Filipino, because we should be proud of the history of our culture and character as a people. Doon po sa painting na yon, na isalarawan ni Botong Francisco ang simula ng ating bansa. Bago dumating ang Kastila, bago dumating ang mga Chino, bago dumating ang mga Ingles, bago dumating ang Hapon, bago dumating ang mga Amerikano, nandun lahat sa larawang yon na maaari nating ipagmalaki sapagkat ang binibigyan ng halaga roon kung papaano nanatili ang ating minamahal na bansang Pilipinas maging malaya at nakatayo sa kanyang sariling paa. We have to defend heritage and we have to value culture. Otherwise, we are lost as a nation. So this message should ring in the ears of those concerned. Produce the painting or we take action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the speech of the Honorable Lito Atienza
Mr. Speaker,
be referred to the Committee on Rules.
I want to interpolate, Mr. Speaker,
The Honorable
and may
De
I know
Castro.
if the gentleman from Manila will yield to
Mr.
few
Speaker.
questions.
Mr. Speaker,
To be
Majority
interpolated
Leader.
is an honor, but I don't know whether the majority floor leader would allow it. I would be honored to be
with the
interpolated by the
indulgence of
gentleman.
our Honorable colleague, Honorable Fred Castro, and the Honorable Speaker now, the Honorable Lito Atienza, we would just like to take time out to greet very distinguished guests in the gallery, Mr. Speaker, before they proceed with their interpellation. As these guests have come to pay respect to Congress, with respect to a bill pending before them, and before they return to their official duties, we would like to greet them, Mr. Speaker, with the indulgence of the gentleman on the floor.
We will defer to the pleasure of the distinguished majority leader, Mr. Speaker.
The Majority Leader will proceed.
Thank you to our esteemed colleagues. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, just today, Committee Report number 658 on House Bill 7376 an act further strengthening the office of the Solicitor General by increasing its powers and functions and redefining, expanding, and rationalizing its organization, repealing for the purpose Republic Act Number 9417, Republic Act Number 2327, and Executive Order Numbers 1 and 2, Series 1986, and appropriating funds therefore, was included in our reference of business and has been referred to the Committee on Rules. We would like to congratulate the Committee on Justice, its Honorable Chair, Chairman Ray Umali, and at the same time, we would like to greet our guests and congratulate them. We have in the gallery, Mr. Speaker, our esteemed Solicitor General, Jose C. Calida,
Liz Rice,
along with his Assistant Solicitors Generals, Alex Salvador, Joseph Guevara, Hazel Acantilado, Rex Bernardo Pascual, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Solicitor General and his team from the Solicitor General's family.
welcome to the House of Representatives, this is Solicitor General Calida and the group.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I move again for the recognition of the esteemed gentleman from the party list Buhay, the Honorable Lito Atienza.
The Honorable Lito Atienza and the Deputy Speaker Castro are both recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may proceed with your interpellation, Deputy
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleague, ako ay tumayo bagamat ang iyong talumpati sa bulwagang ito ay maikli at maaring palipasin na itong representasyon na ito ay hindi nagtatanong ng anumang katanungan. Subalit ako ay naniniwala, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleague, sa iyong paninindigan at sa iyong isiniwalat na ang mga iginuhit ni Botong Francisco ay hindi pag-aari ni numan, subalit ito'y pag-aari ng bansang Pilipinas at ng bawat Pilipino. Ang aking katanungan lamang sa aking ang aking katanungan lamang sa aking kaibigan at iginagalang na representante ng lungsod ng Maynila ay sinabi mo na ang larawan o ang iginuhit ni Botong Francisco ay nawala at ito ay hindi na makita sa lugar na kung saan ito'y nakikita noon. At sinabi mo rin, kagalang-galang, na Lito Atienza, na ang pumalit dito ay isang tarpaulin. Maaari mo bang sabihin sa amin kung ano ang nakikita sa tarpaulin na ito?
Yung pong tarpaulin, Mr. Speaker, is a direct copy, printed copy of the original. But of course, wala po sa kanya yung kulay at guhit ng maestro. Ito po ay printed copy, kaya yung kulay ay malabsaw o malabo. At yung diin, yung damdamin ng obra maestra ay hindi maililipat sa tarpaulin. Kaya yung po ang nandoon sa tinatawag nating Bulwagang Rodriguez or Bulwagang Katipunan ngayon. Sapagkat yun ang talagang pinagmamalaki ng lungsod ng Maynila ng bawat Manileño. Na meron tayong Bulwagang Katipunan kung saan ang obra maestra ni Botong Francisco ay nakikita ng lahat. Bata, matanda, babae, lalaki, turista, banyaga, lokal, ay nasasabing, sino ang gumawa nito? Napakaganda. Pag-aralan ninyo, kung kayo iikot doon, makikita nyo ang kasaysayan ng ating kapuluan. Magmula kay Raha Sulaiman hanggang sa humantong tayo sa ating kalayaan noong Hulyo 4, 1946. Kaya maganda po ang tanungin natin, sino ang nagpalabas ng obra maestrang ito? At sino, kung ito man ay, sabi nila, ay nire-restore, ang nag-restore, professional po ba? At kung ito po naman ay nire-restore, 5 taon na po nagdaan. For 5 years, it has been outside of its natural place of history. Kailangang ibalik na. Dahil kung hindi po natin pupunahin, mawawala ng tuluyan to. Wala po naman naghahanap tungkulin ng Kongresong itong tanungin. Sino ang may hawak at kailan nyo ibabalik yan sa lugar na karapat-dapat?
Sasangayon ba ang aking ipinagpipitagang representante ng lungsod ng Maynila kung aking sasabihin na kahit anong ganda man ang ipinalit sa orihinal na bersyon ng iginuhit ni Botong Francisco na ayon sa aking iginagalang na representante ng Maynila ay hindi mapapalitan ang orihinal na bersyon ng iginuhit ni Botong Francisco.
Gaya po ng damdamin ng ating kagalang-galang na kongresista, Castro. Alam ko ang kanyang damdamin, makasaysayan, makulay, makabayan, at punong-puno ng pagmamahal sa ating pagkatao. Kaya kung ano nararamdaman ni Congressman Castro, yun din po naman ang nananaig sa akin. Humihingi po tayo ng sagot at hihingi ako ng kasagutan sa aking isiniwalat na ito. Whoever is holding this masterpiece must come out and declare their intentions. Kung ito'y itatago nila, hahanapin po namin ito. At ito'y hindi may tatago sapagkat napakalaki po at hindi maaaring itago ni numan. At kung sino nagbigay ng permiso upang ito'y ilabas sa City Hall ng Maynila, kailangan magpaliwanag din. Kung sino man nagbigay ng kapangyarihan ito ay galawin, kailangan magpaliwanag din. Subalit, ang kailangan mangyari pagkatapos itong ating pagsisiwalat na ito ay ibalik ang obra maestra upang si Congressman Castro at ang inyong lingkod ay masiyahan. Makita nating muli na malaya ang bigyan natin ng karangalan sa isang paraang tama ang pagkatao nating mga Pilipino. Yung obra maestrang yun ay tungkol po sa Pilipino. Galing kay Raha Sulaiman hanggang doon sa tayo'y nagkamit ng ating kalayaan. Dumaan ang maraming siglo, dumaan ang maraming yugto na kung saan tayo sinakop at tayo nakabangon. Ito'y magbibigay ng inspirasyon, hindi lamang sa atin, kundi sa mga kabataan na pumupunta ron at nakikita ang ating kasaysayan. It should be protected as it is protected by law. So therefore, those responsible must be made to explain why it is still not in its proper place.
Kung may ilalabas na kaparehong iginuhit at ang itsura nito o larawan nito ay halos kapareho ng nawawalang painting ni Botong Francisco, makikilala ba at meron bang isang tao na may sapat na kaalaman upang makilala ang orihinal at hindi orihinal na gawa o guhit ni Botong Francisco?
Napakadali po naman, Mr. Speaker, na makilala sapagkat yung peke, alam niyo yung peke, dahil sa tarpaulin naka-imprenta. Yung original ay nasa canvas na talagang ginuhitan ng ating bantog na pintor at national artist na si Botong Francisco. So hindi po pwede pong itago ang katotohanan. Ngayon, ang nakalagay dun sa City Hall ng Maynila ay kopya. It's a poor copy of the original. And therefore, it cannot be mistaken because the colors are different, the shades are different, the emotion in the painting is not there. Alam niyo yung original ay merong emotion. Yung galak ng Pilipinas, yung pagmamalaki ng Pilipino, yung ating karangalan bilang Pilipino ay nandun, mararamdaman nyo sa original. Dito po sa tarpaulin copy, wala pong damdamin kayong mararamdaman sapagkat ito'y kopya, hindi original. Katulad po ni Congressman Castro. Siya original. Kasangi-tangi. There is only one Congressman, Fredenil Castro, na nakikilala sa kanyang paninindigan para sa ating bayan. There cannot be a copy of Congressman Castro. Ano man ang gawin ng ibang tao, hindi nila makukopya si Congressman Fredenil Castro. Ganon din po naman ang kalagayan ng isang obra maestra. It cannot be copied and we cannot accept the copy. Only the original will satisfy this question. Where is the masterpiece of Botong Francisco? Otherwise, we will have to take more drastic action against those who manipulated its disappearance.
Mr. Speaker, kagalang-galang na Representante Lito Atienza, maaari mo bang isiwalat sa bulwagang ito kung sino ang nakaupo na alkalde ng Maynila noong napuna mo na itong obra maestra ni Botong Francisco ay nawawala na sa City Hall ng Maynila?
Alam ko po, Mr. Speaker, noong sumumpa ang kasalukuyang alkalde, noong July 13 o July 2013, ay June 30 of 2813, wala na po yung painting doon. So malamang, ang nagbigay po ng paraan, autoridad, o kaya siyang nagbigay ng pamumuno sa paglabas itong obra maestrang ito ay yung dating alkalde na nakaupo bago po dumating ang alkalde Erap Estrada, si Mayor Alfredo Lim. Kaya kasama po siya sa ating tatanungin. Yan ba'y sinundan ninyo? Yan ba'y binigyan nyo ng paraan upang ilabas? Alam ba ninyo kung nasan ngayon? At kailan ibabalik ang obra maestrang ito? He will have to answer this query, as Mayor Erap should be made to answer too. Baka naman nakalimutan nila, no? Pwede namang nakalimutan na nung dalawa. Kapagkat alam nyo, kung nagkakaedad na isang tao, nakakalimutan yung mga ginawa sa nakaraang mga taon. Pero, kaya kinakailangan ipaalala natin sa hapong ito, kung nakakalimutan ninyo, isipin ninyo, panagutan ninyo ang inyong desisyon. That is the purpose of this message to all concerned.
Mr. Speaker, ang aking ipinagpipitagang representante ng Maynila, sinubukan mo bang tanungin ang nakaluklok na mayor ng lungsod ng Maynila ngayon kung nasaan ang obra maestrang nawawala sa City Hall ng Maynila?
Ang mayor po ngayon, alam nating lahat, ay si Mayor Erap Estrada, ang ating dating Pangulo. Alam ko naman ang kanya pagmamahal sa sining at kalinangan. Siya po naman ay sinilang sa ating panahon na ang sining at kalinangan ay buo ang ating paggalang. So I'm appealing to him as I call his attention. Kung nakakalimutan niya, pinapaalala ko, yung obra maestra ay kailangang ibalik sa City Hall ng Maynila.
Siya ba'y iyong sinubukan na tanungin?
Kung naaalala ko po, sumulat na nga po kami para maging formal ang pagtatanong dito sa isyong ito.
At siya ba naman ay sumagot sa iyong sulat, Ginoong Lito Atienza?
Wala po kaming sagot. Baka hindi rin nabasa yung sulat. Sapagkat alam nyo, patong-patong ang mga papel ng isang mayor, kumisan hindi talaga nababasa ang sulat.
Naitanong ko ang katanungin yan sapagkat maaring kung siya ay may idea kung nasaan itong obra maestrang ating pinag-uusapan ngayon, ay hindi na kailangang mag-imbestiga pa ang mababang kapulungan kung siya ay may kasagutan.
Basta may balik po yung painting. Basta may lagay muli doon sa bulwagang Katipunan na aming ikinararangal na pulungan para sa lahat ng mga pumupunta sa City Hall ng Maynila. Basta maibalik, wala na po tayong issue. Dahil hindi na kailangan siyasatin kung sino pa ang nakialam doon, ano ba nangyari, magkano ibinayad. Basta ang importante po ngayon, maibalik sa kanyang dapat
May I
na
just remind
kinalalagyan.
the gentleman on the floor that the time is up.
I would have asked Mr. Speaker for an extension because this is a very important issue. But nonetheless, this representation
Majority Leader.
will defer to the observation of the Honorable Speaker. At this point in time, Mr. Speaker, I am thanking the gentleman from Manila for having brought this matter to the attention of the House of Representatives because of its importance that the obra maestra of Botong Francisco has to be restored to the people of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And I'd like to thank the gentleman, Congressman Deputy Speaker Redenil Castro, for his displayed interest in the issue that we have brought forth. Maraming salamat po sa kanya.
Mr. Speaker.
At
Majority
pagtutulungan po
Leader.
natin itong issue
Majority
nito.
Leader.
I move that we recognize Congressman Edsa Lagman, Mr. Speaker.
I have some questions to propound to the distinguished party list representative
The
of
Honorable
Buhay.
Edsel Lagman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker.
but
May
Majority
we
Leader.
ask for an extension
Yes, Mr.
of
Speaker.
the
Mr. Speaker,
Period.
may I move that we extend for another 10 minutes?
Any objection to the motion? The chair is none. The motion is approved.
will the distinguished gentleman yield to some questions?
Alam po ninyo, basta't kayo'y tinatanong nitong ating miyembrong ang ngalan ay Congressman Edsel Lagman, ay dapat pong ikarangal ninyo yan. Sapagkat ang kanyang isipan ay masaliksik, mapanuri, matalino, at punong-puno ng kaalaman. Salamat po.
First, Mr. Speaker, I would like to congratulate the distinguished party list representative from Buhay Party List for ventilating this very important issue on the reported missing cultural heritage artwork of no less than a national artist for visual arts, Botong Francisco. But may we know from the distinguished gentleman, since when has this masterpiece been missing?
Sa akin pong sariling kaalaman, Mr. Speaker, alam niyo, hindi ako masyado nagpupunta sa City Hall. Nagpunta lang ako roon nung nanumpa ang kasalukuyang mayor. Napansin ko po yung paligid ng bulwagang Katipunan ay wala na po yung kulay at sigla. Nawala yung tinatawag nating energy. Nung tinignan ko po yung mural, abay, kaya pala naman nawala yung ganong uring damdamin, ay ito'y wala na po yung obra maestra doon. Ang nandoon po ay yung tarpaulin na duplicate copy ng original. 2013, hindi na po ako nagbalik doon. Tinignan ko lamang kahapon kung nandun na o wala pa. Eh yun ang nakita ko, wala pa po yung painting doon. Eh 5 taon na po yun. So therefore, it's time to take action and to inform the whole nation about this mystery of a missing masterpiece.
May we know from the distinguished gentleman whether he has written or caused to be written a letter seeking information from former mayors of Manila of recent times
Ang akin pong tinanong
to
ay yung
find out whether they are aware of the whereabouts of this masterpiece.
Ang akin pong tinanong, Mr. Speaker, ay yung kasalukuyang mayor. Sapagkat hindi na natin pwedeng tanungin pa yung nakaraan, yung kasalukuyan ay dapat merong kaalaman at merong may sasagot. Wala po naman kaming sagot na malinaw na natanggap. Kung hindi yung impormasyon na dumadaan sa mga kaibigan na ito ay ibabalik din daw. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, 5 taon na nakaraan, hindi pwedeng ibabalik. Kailangan ibalik sa lalong madaling panahon.
Okay. We are talking about an artwork entitled Kasaysayan ng Maynila. Is that correct?
Kasaysayan ng Maynila na may kaugnayan sa bansa.
Okay.
Kapagkat ang nandoon po sa mga larawan doon ay hindi po naman tungkol sa Maynila lang. Andun po yung nagdaan sa ating kapuluan. At yung kasaysayan ng lungsod ay nakikita natin sa pamamagitan ng obra maestrang ito ay may kaugnayan sa kabuuan ng ating bansa.
I am informed, Mr. Speaker, distinguished gentlemen, that Botong Francisco executed or created this artwork sometime in the 1950s. Are you aware of that?
1963.
Okay.
Tama po yun.
So, more or less, how many years have elapsed?
Mga more than 50 years na po. Kapagkat 2018 na po ngayon.
More than half a century, definitely.
Half a century, tama po.
And artworks of this ancestry would need restoration. Is that correct?
Tama po yun.
And artworks of this magnificent creation would have to be placed in an area conducive to its protection from the elements.
Tama rin po yun.
Tama yun. Is it possible, distinguished gentlemen, that this artwork has been transferred to the National Museum for restoration?
Anything is possible as of now because it's not there. Kaya nga po ang katanungan ko, sino ba ang may hawak? Kung magsasalita ngayon ng National Museum na nasa kanila, magtatanong pa rin po ang inyong lingkod. Bakit nyo kinuha? Sino nag-authorize sa inyo para malaman po ng buong lungsod? Who authorized anyone to restore, at what cost, and what are the parameters of your commission? Kailan po ninyo ibabalik yan? Hindi po pwede po sabihin, amin na yan. Ano ito? Topo-topo barega? Dumila sa baga? Kami na may hawak, kaya kaamin na. Hindi po pwede po yun. Yan ay pag-aari ng bawat Manileño na ang kanilang pagkaalam ay nandoon pa sa bulwagang Katipunan, ang obra maestra. So if there is any story to tell, let each and every Manilan know the real score and what is being done on the painting.
Okay. Before the distinguished gentleman took the floor this afternoon, was there any verification made by him with the National Museum whether this artwork is with the National Museum?
Wala po kaming pagtatanong na ginawa sapagkat simple po ang issue. May kumuha ng painting, walang sumagot nung kami nagtatanong, sino ang may hawak ngayon? Binaligan ko, wala pa rin po yung painting doon. Bakit naman ako magtatanong kung nasaan yung painting? Ang tinatanong ko po, yung mayor ng Maynila ngayon, sapagkat yun ay tanggapan niya. Kailangan sagutin niya. Nasaan yung painting at kailan po ibabalik yung painting kung ito ay nasa kamay ng pamahalaan. Pero hindi pwedeng mawala ang painting at walang kasulatan, all in the name of good intentions. May kasabihan tayo, I'm sure the gentleman will agree with me, the road to hell is full of good intentions. Lahat po yan ay magagandang intensyon. Alam nyo, kapiraso lang po nung painting na yun. Kapiraso lang. You get a 1 meter piece of that painting will give you millions of pesos. But the whole painting will not be estimated by anyone because it is priceless. Wala pong masasabing presyo yan sapagkat wala na po yung ating national artist na gumuhit niyan at wala na pong makakakopya niyan.
Okay. Well, the road to hell may lead to the National Museum if proper verification is conducted. 10 minutes ago, I called up a responsible personnel or official of the National Museum, and he confirms to me that the artwork of Botong Francisco entitled Kasaysayan ng Maynila is with the National Museum after it was restored starting 2012. It is now displayed at the Senate Hall of the National Museum. Could you kindly check, distinguished gentlemen, whether this information is true or correct?
Nagpapasalamat po ang inyong lingkod kay Congressman Lagman. Sabi ko sa inyo, pag tumayo ang ating kagalang-galang na kongresista, makinig tayo sapagkat meron siya sasabihin mayroong halaga. Sa sinabi niyo yan, bukas na bukas, ako po ipupunta sa National Museum. Tatanungin ko sila, by what authority are you holding on to the masterpiece? Because you cannot just hold on to a property of the people of the City of Manila. Ang ibinayad po dyan ay buwis ng mga tigalunsod. Hindi pwedeng yan po'y ariin na lamang
I
ng
remind
sino man.
the two gentlemen that the time is up.
Yes, I am through with my interpellation, and I would like again to thank the distinguished gentleman for his speech and for undertaking that tomorrow he will check with the National Museum in order to unravel this mystery. Thank you so much.
I will
Thank
not
you.
only go there, Mr. Speaker, I will write them another letter. Now that the gentleman has pinpointed a lead where we can start, we will write a strongly worded letter, the strongest I can even compose, that they have to return, restore, and install this painting where it belongs, in the hall of the people of the City of Manila, and not to decorate any portion of the legislative building or the National Museum. The natural home of this painting is the Bulwagang Katipunan dito po sa lungsod ng Maynila. But thank you for the information. It definitely gives us a direction on where to start and how to make people responsible for their actions. Salamat po sa kanya at salamat po sa inyo, Mr. Speaker, for giving way to this topic which we have dissected and discussed in this afternoon session. Salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Lito Atienza and the interpellations to the Committee on Rules.
Is there any objection? Chair, yes, none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the guests of the Honorable Chicky Roapuno and the Honorable Romeo Acop, barangay officials from Barangay Mayamot, led by Barangay Captain Pablo Oldan, Kagawa Cristina Sarza, and Kagawad Edwin Cabalsa, and from Barangay Beverly Hills, Barangay Captain Danny Arcilia.
Please rise to be recognized. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr.
Majority
Speaker,
Leader.
I move that we approve bills on third reading.
Is there an objection to the motion? The chair is none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration of third reading House Bill number 6285, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and proceed with the roll of members for nominal voting.
House Bill number 6285, an act declaring January 18 every year a special non-working holiday for all kasambahay in the entire country to be known as Araw ng Kasambahay. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 6285. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agrao, Agabaw, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batucabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilia, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bullet Bigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Estelo, Casa France, Casa Fedenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seraviga, Cirilles, Chavez, Chipeco, Coango, Brillantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Usalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, De Los Montalia, De Maporo Abdullah, De Maporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, El Lago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose, Garcia Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gachelian, Heron, Goana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Arroyo Dom, Gonzales Fernando, Gurseta, Gullias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hofer, Alosos, Javier, Conghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasetin, Liechon, Lee, Limcaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagal-Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudodato Suarto, Mangudodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Pandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Bineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez-Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Rovapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sancopan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrelita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Si Alvarado, Abunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Teada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Bareta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Villago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Marcamen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With affirmative vote of 225, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill 6285 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration on third reading House Bill number 7199, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 7199, an act renewing for another 25 years the franchise granted to Delta Broadcasting System, Inc. to establish, maintain, and operate radio and television broadcasting stations within the Philippines under Republic Act number 7723. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 7199. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agarao, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Hurtado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Marevida, Brosas, Bultbictang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixturbiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro France, Castro Fedrinil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cerillas, Chávez, Chipeco, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, De Los Montalia, Di Maporo Abdullah, Di Maporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Boain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Iberdore, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Fentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gachelian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Redón, González Fernando, Groseta, Gullas, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Jalosos, Xavier, Co, Conjun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Li, Limcaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Magpacalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mododato Suarto, Mangododato Sajid, Marculeta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Marañaon, Maminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Upandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpagos, Revilla, Robapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillanos, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Celita, Swansing Horacio, Silver, Suarez, Silverado, Tan Bunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Teada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Urilando, Ibareta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Vilago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Marcarmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 226, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7199 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration and third reading House Bill number 7290, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll of members for nominal voting.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll of members.
House Bill number 7290, an act changing the composition of the Advisory Committee of the National Council for Children's Television, amending for the purpose Section 6 of Republic Act number 8370, otherwise known as the Children's Television Act of 1997. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 7290. Abaya, Abayo, Nabilionosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Aglibay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertis, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Marevida, Brosas, Bulutbegtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixturbiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Casa France, Casa Federil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cerillas, Chávez, Chipeco, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cuba, Coresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Sus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, De Loso, Montaña, Dimaporo, Abdullah, Dimaporo, Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Irice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Garin Richard, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio González Fernando, Gorseta, Gulias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Losos, Xavier, Conjun, Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lacetin, Liachon, Lilim, Caichong, Lobrigat, Lopez Beru, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudodato Suarto, Mangudodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Minding, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Maliñaon, Maminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia, Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Ilampagos, Revilla, Ropuno, Robes, Ocamora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sancopan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Sinchon, Swansing Sirita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambuting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherry, Teada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Bareta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villapete, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Vilago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Mara Carmen, Samara Ronaldo, Sarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 226, negative vote 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7290 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration on third reading of House Bill number 7266, copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill 7266, an act providing for a rural employment assistance program and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 7266. Abaya, Abayon, Abilinosa, Abo, Abueg, at Sharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Agdipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bacaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Patucabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulut, Bigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro France, Castro Predinil, Catampo, Caetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chipeco, Coco, Juanco, Coliantes, Cortes, Cortuna, Cusalan, Crisolgo, Cua, Quaresma, Cueva, Delipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Vereja, De Vera, De Penzor, Del Mar, De Rosario, De Losa Montalia, Di Mapora Abdullah, Di Mapura Mohamed Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di Ilago, Inverga, Irice, Erigel, Ermita Buhayin, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Pentevilla, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Aurelio, Gonzales Fernando, Goreseta, Gullias, Hernandez, Herrera-D, Hopper, Halos Hos, Javier, Kokunghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Lichon, Lee, Limcaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, mga Dodato Suharto, mga Dodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marinho, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nogrades Jericho, Nogrades Carlo, Nolasco, Nunez Malañan, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicias, Agabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roa Puna, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Sidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahale, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salos, Alonso, Ambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Meri, Chabellano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrelleta, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, si Alvarado, Tan Bunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherni, Tijada, Tebes, Chanco, Ting, Tino, Tolentino, Treñas, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Oy Juliet, Oy Rolando, Oy Bareta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Bilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Biloso, Vergara, Villafuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Dulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 228, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7266 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration and third reading House Bill number 7240, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for third reading.
House Bill 7240, an act establishing a national high school in Barangay Viente Reales, Valenzuela City, to be known as Viente Reales National High School and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 7240. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abo, Abueg, at Charon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Agdipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Abison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bakatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Bersaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulut Bigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campus, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Predinil, Catamco, Caetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ciriles, Chavez, Chipeco, Coco, Anco, Colliantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Delipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesús, de Verecha, de Vera, de Penzor, del Mar, de Rosario, de los Montaña, de Mapora, Abdullah, de Mapora, Muhammad Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Inverga, Erice, Eriquel, Ermita Buhay, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Bardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet Marie, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fuentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José Enrique, García Albano, Garin, Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasatay, Gatchalian, Hiron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzala, González Alexandria, González Aurelio, González Fernando, Groseta, Gulias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Alosos, Javier, Co, Conjun, Labad, Daxon, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Lichon, Lee, Linkay Chong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlos, Lopez Manu Luis, Loyola, Macapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato Suarto, Mangudadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Noños Malanyaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia, Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Lampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sagdalan, Sagarbaria, Saale, Salceda, Salimba, Gonzalo, Salón, Sambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar Mérez, Avillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Soancín, Sinson, Soancín, Estrelleta, Soancín, Horacio, Suárez, Che Alvarado, Tan Bunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny, Tijada, Tebes, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Único, Uy, Juliet, Oy Rolando, Oy Bareta, Oy Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villapuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suárez, Villarica, Villarín, Yulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Minesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora María Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 228, negative 0, abstention 0. House Bill number 7240 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that for the approval, consideration on third reading, House Bill number 7241, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House for this purpose. May I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 7241, an act establishing an elementary school in Barangay San Antonio, Parañaque City, to be known as Silvero Elementary School, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 7241. Abaya, Abayo, Nabellinosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Ako, Pacosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Albizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciana, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Brosas, Bulat Begtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Pedernil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cirilles, Chávez, Chipeco, Coaco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, del Rosario, de los Montaña, de Maporo Abdullah, de Maporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, El Lago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Casatay, Gachelian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomar, Gómez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Dong, González Fernando, Goreceta, Gullias, Hernández, Herrera, Hofer, Halosos, Javier, Cocong, Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lilim, Kaichong, Lobrigat, Lopez Beru, Lopez Carlos, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Mapaglaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, mga Dadato Suarto, mga Dadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nuglales, Jericho, Nuglales, Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez, Maliñao, Mominal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Heri, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Upandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Princesa Cabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpagos, Sevilla, Rabapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Román, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sacdales, Zagarbería, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Silita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambuting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Tiño, Talentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Unga, Único, Uy, Juliet, Urilando, Uy Beretta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Velosa, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suárez, Villarica, Villarín, Vilago, Yaparto, Yapilesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Samar Marcarmen, Samar Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 229, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7241 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration on third reading House Bill number 7242, printed copies of which were distributed to the members pursuant to the rules of the House. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 7242, an act separating the Don Felix Serra National High School, Lomboyan Extension in Barangay Lomboyan, Municipality of San Joaquin, Province of Iloilo from the Don Felix Serra National High School, converting it into an independent national high school to be known as Santa Ana National High School, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 7242. Abaya, Abayo, Villanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcilla, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bendigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Sir Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertis, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Mirabida, Brosas, Bulot Bigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixtrobiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Pedernil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cirilles, Chávez, Chipeco, Cubanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, del Rosario, de Los Montaña, de Maporo Abdullah, de Maporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Fernando, Flores, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Garzataya, Gachelian, Heron, Goana Cristina, Gomark, Gómez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Dong, González Fernando, Groseta, Gullias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Alosos, Javier, Cocong, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liechon, Lilim, Gaichong, Labrigat, Lopez Benu, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Mapacaloroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mga Dodato Suarto, Mga Dodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Minding, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Nunez Maliñaon, Maminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Rodasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpago, Sevilla, Rawapuno, Robes, Rocomora, Rodriguez Isito, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sacdalen, Sagarberia, Saali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santo Secto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Sumasing Cerita, Sumasing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tamunting, Tanangelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Tayada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupasti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Orlando, Uy Beretta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarte, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villeperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Villago, Yap Arto, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Samora Marcamen, Samora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With an affirmative vote of 229, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7242 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we take up House Bill number 723 on third reading. And for this, please direct our Secretary General to read the title of the measure, and after that, call the roll of members for the nominal vote.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 7243, an act separating the Tacorong National High School, Upper Katungal Annex in Barangay Upper Katungal, Tacorong City, Province of Sultan Kudarat from the Tacorong National High School, converting it into an independent national high school to be known as Upper Katungal National High School, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 7243. Abaya, Abaya, Nabellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Ako, Pacosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Matong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista, Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciana, Belmonte Sir Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Betis, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Brosas, Bulot Bectang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calix Rubiano, Cabinero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilo, Castelo, Caso Franz, Caso Fedenil, Catamco, Caetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cerillas, Chávez, Chepeco, Coaco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, del Mar, del Luzar, del Oso Montalia, Dimoporo Dula, Dimoporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buay, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Petebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García Jose, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gachelian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomart, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Don, González Fernando, Corseta, Gulias, Hernández Herrera D, Hofer, Helosos, Xavier, Conjun, Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Lagan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lim Kaichong, Labrigat, Lopez Benu, Lopez Carlos, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapaglaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mga Dodato Suarto, Mga Dodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles, Jericho, Nograles, Carlo, Nolasco, Nunez Maliñaon, Maminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpago, Sevilla, Rawapuno, Robes, Rocomora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Román, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, San Copan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Savillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambuting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tino, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Beretta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarte, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villapete, Villanueva, Villarazo, Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Villago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Samar Marcamen, Samar Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With affirmative votes of 229, negative 0, abstention 0, House Bill number 7243 is hereby approved on third reading. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider for approval on second reading, begin consideration on Committee Report number 658, submitted by the Committee on Justice on House Bill 7376, and could the Secretary General be directed to read the title of same measure? So moved, Mr. Speaker.
the Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill.
House Bill number 7376, an act further strengthening the office of the Solicitor General by increasing its powers and functions and redefining, expanding, and rationalizing its organization, repealing for the purpose Republic Act number 9417, Republic Act number 2327, and Executive Order numbers 1 and 2, series of 1986, and appropriating funds therefore.
Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, for his sponsorship of the measure, I move that we recognize the gentleman from the 2nd District of Oriental Mindoro, our esteemed Chairman of the Committee on Justice, the Honorable Ray Umali. So move, Mr. Chair.
the Chairman of Committee on Justice, Congressman Ray Umali, is recognized to sponsor the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader, and esteemed colleagues in this august chamber. I am respectfully submitting for your consideration House Bill number 7376, the proposed OSG, or Office of the Solicitor General Charter. This bill seeks to amend RA 9417, or the OSG Reform Law, and streamline the legal services the OSG provides to various government offices. In line with the policy of the state to promote simplicity, efficiency, effectiveness, and economy in government operations to address the expanding needs of government-owned and controlled corporations for legal representation and enhance government efforts to recover ill-gotten wealth and investigate and prosecute cases relative thereto. The functions of OGCC and the PCGG shall be consolidated under the Office of the Solicitor General. This requires the abolition of the OGCC and the PCGG and the transfer of their powers and functions to the OSG. The significant amendments introduced by this bill pertain to OSG's organizational structure, its expanded powers and functions, increased compensation, benefits and privileges of its personnel, its funding source, and the effects of the abolition of the OGCC and PCGG. To make the OSG a truly independent and autonomous office, the OSG shall be attached to the Office of the President for budgetary purposes. To address the integration of functions and meet the burgeoning need of the government for legal services, the bill seeks to increase the number of legal divisions of the OSG from 30 to 50 divisions with at least 10 lawyers in each division. This bill also expands the powers and functions of the OSG to include those that were exercised by the OGCC and PCGG. For instance, the OSG shall review all GOCC contracts prior to their execution and enforce the property insurance law which heretofore are being performed by OGCC pursuant to Chapter 3, Section 10 of the Revised Administrative Code of 1987. In line with the state's policy of ensuring efficiency and economy in the operations of government, including the effective legal representation of GOCCs, it is also important that the OSG take a more proactive stance in the handling of government transactions. This means ensuring that GOCC contracts strictly conform to existing laws and regulations to avoid future litigations, which are not only costly but also have an adverse effect on the country's investment, climate, and reputation. Likewise, the OSG shall have the power to grant immunity from criminal prosecution to any person who provides information or testifies in any investigation previously conducted by the PCGG or future cases investigated by the OSG to establish the unlawful manner in which any respondent, defendant, or accused has acquired or accumulated ill-gotten wealth in any case where such information or testimony is necessary to ascertain or prove the latter's guilt or his liability. The PCGG is vested with this power pursuant to Section 5 of Executive Order Number 14 as amended by EO 14-A Series of 1986. The bill also proposes to grant solicitors benefits already enjoyed by lawyers in the Public Attorney's Office and the National Prosecution Service. While RA number 9417 already provides that senior state solicitors and state solicitors of the OSG shall have the same rank, salaries, and privileges of trial court judges, the benefits provided for under RA number 9946, such as additional retirement, survivorship, and other perquisites, are enjoyed by the members of the judiciary only. Given the formidable and sensitive legal duties of the OSG, there is a need to strengthen the institution and provide its lawyers and employees benefits and privileges already being enjoyed by their counterparts in other government offices. This will ensure that the OSG is able to faithfully, effectively, and efficiently perform its mandate to uphold state interest. The increase in OSG's share in monetary rewards or assets granted by courts or tribunals to client departments and assets adjudged to the government in forfeiture proceedings will significantly augment the office's funds to ensure proper implementation of the proposed measure. Particularly, the expanded benefits provided therein without being overly dependent on the annual appropriations. This can, in the long run, enhance the proposed fiscal autonomy for the office and lessen the need for appropriations from the national government's budget. Furthermore, the grant of the authority to borrow addresses the urgent need of the OSG to acquire and construct its own office building and improve the working conditions and capacity development. For the foregoing reasons, the expeditious passage of this bill is earnestly sought. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my esteemed colleagues. as I enjoyed support from the members for the approval of this measure.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration of House Bill number 7376.
Okay.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we resume consideration of House Bill number 7303 in Committee Report 640. And for this, please direct our Secretary General to read the title of the measure.
Secretary General is directed to read the title of the measure.
House Bill number 7303, an act instituting absolute divorce and dissolution of marriage in the Philippines.
Mr. Speaker, the parliamentary status is that while we have terminated the period of sponsorship and debate on this measure yesterday, I move that we reconsider the termination of the period of sponsorship and debate to accommodate further interpellations from the Honorable Raul Del Mar. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection to the motion? Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the distinguished gentleman from the 1st District of Albay, the Honorable Edsel Lagman, to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Edsel Lagman is recognized to continue the sponsorship.
And also, Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from Cebu, the Honorable Raul Del Mar, to continue with this interpellation.
Likewise, the Honorable Del Mar is recognized to continue with his interpellation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader. May I first quote just two sections of the Constitution before I continue my interpellation. And this is in connection with Article 15, Section 2, which provides the family. That marriage as an inviolable, valuable social institution is the foundation of the family and shall be protected by the state. And secondly, Section 1, that the state recognizes the Filipino family as the foundation of the nation. Accordingly, it shall strengthen its solidarity and actively promote its total development. The reason why I quoted these two sections, Mr. Speaker, and distinguished sponsor, is that this measure directly violates these two sections of the Constitution. Because first, with the recognition of marriage as an inviolable social institution, as the foundation of the family, should be protected by the state. In this case, the measure does the opposite. Instead of protecting the family, the marriage, the state is doing harm to marriage. And before I continue, I know that the distinguished sponsor would like to comment on this.
What is the question, Mr. Speaker?
The provision that marriage as an valuable social institution is the foundation of the family and shall be protected by the state. This measure, instead of protecting the state, instead of the state protecting the marriage, is actually doing harm to the marriage.
The question is whether this bill does harm to marriage
That's right,
and
Mr.
is in
Speaker.
violation of the constitutional precepts on marriage as a social institution and as the foundation of the family. To place it in its proper perspective, the question really would assail the constitutionality of this measure. We have already underscored in our sponsorship speech that despite the adoption by the Constitution of the tenets on marriage as a social institution and as a foundation of the family, the commissioners of the 1986 Constitutional Convention, which drafted the present Constitution, were unanimous in asserting that the foregoing principles do not prevent or foreclose the Congress from enacting a divorce law. Among the advocates of this position was Father Joaquin Bernas, a very active, articulate, and authoritative Catholic prelate. And risking redundancy, we're going to again quote the proceedings of the Constitutional Commission on this particular issue. After Commissioner Chito Gascon introduced the aforesaid concepts of marriage and family, Father Bernas rose to interpolate him in this wise. Father Bernas, just one question, and I am not sure if it has been categorically answered. I refer specifically to the proposal of Commissioner Gascon. Is this to be understood as a prohibition of a general law on divorce? Mr. Gascon, Mr. Presiding Officer, that was not primarily my intention. My intention was primarily to encourage the social institution of marriage, but not necessarily divorce, or not necessarily discourage divorce. Then Father Bernas continued, no, my question is more categorical. Does this carry the meaning of prohibiting a divorce law? Mr. Gascon, no, Mr. Presiding Officer. Father Bernas, thank you. In a subsequent proceeding, the following exchange transpired between Commissioners Jose Bengson and Maria Teresa Nieva. Mr. Bengson, will this in any way preclude Congress from approving a law on divorce? Mrs. Nieva, we discussed that yesterday, and I think we reiterated that it does not. Mr. Bengson, it does not. Mrs. Nieva, no. Mr. Bengson, so even if the section or this sentence is approved, Congress will still have every right to pass a divorce law under certain circumstances as it may deem fit. It should be underscored, Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, that no commissioner posited a dissenting view. As a matter of fact, the Constitution does not prohibit the institution of absolute divorce or dissolution of marriage despite the acceptance of the concepts of marriage as a social institution and the foundation of the family. I think these proceedings in the Constitutional Convention will categorically document that the present charter does not prohibit the institution of absolute divorce and the abolition of marriage as contained in the present bill.
We thank the sponsor for the answer, the comprehensive answer. But we believe, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, that no matter what these discussions there were, whatever the opinions were expressed by those persons identified, we really don't see how those discussions, those opinions can go over a clear provision of the Constitution, which is clear, so clear that it needs no further interpretation or discussion on the matter. So, but we respect the answer of the honorable sponsor, so we will move to the second section.
Just to have a footnote on this discussion, no less than the Supreme Court, in several cases, has given credence to contemporaneous interpretation of the provisions of the Constitution by commissioners who participated in its crafting. Here we see the very commissioners who drafted the 1987 Constitution telling or saying on record that despite these constitutional precepts on marriage and family, there is no prohibition for this Congress to pass and enact an absolute divorce bill or a bill on dissolution of marriage. I would like to underscore also that this bill continues to protect marriage. In several of its provisions, this protection is steadfast and it is a well-entrenched commitment by the state. This bill is not for happy, vibrant, and harmonious marriages, which do not need the divorce decree. It is for dysfunctional marriages beyond repair, where the state is duty-bound to provide relief to the spouses in distress as well as their children.
We take note of the answer of the distinguished sponsor, but we really believe that those were opinions under circumstances then, and we're not aware of any specific ruling by the Supreme Court on this specific matter today, on this specific provision, insofar as the measure is related to. So this is still something, Your Honor, that many interpretations are made, many opinions are expressed, but in the final analysis, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, only a specific case on this matter elevated to the Supreme Court will decide the issue once and for all. So this is something that we can put aside now and see how it goes. I am not saying, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, that this representation is going to contest this measure as being unconstitutional, but we believe that other quarters, Your Honor, will be doing this, and it is better that other quarters do it because we are legislators and it is not in order, insofar as I'm concerned, for a legislator like this representation who is against this measure to bring the case to court if and when this House will and Congress will approve and enact a law on this measure. So let's go to the second section I quoted, Your Honor. Mr. Speaker, the state recognizes the Filipino family as the foundation of the nation. Accordingly, it shall strengthen its solidarity and actively promote its total development. Again, the state is called upon to strengthen the solidarity of the family. And in this case, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, we see again the opposite, that if the state will approve of this measure, that it shall not be strengthening the solidarity of the family, but will be weakening the solidarity of the family, and the family is the foundation of the nation. What opinion do you have or observations on this point, Your Honor?
Well, I have the same answer, Your Honor, because in the constitutional, in the proceedings of the Constitutional Commission, these issues were already answered. That despite the fact that there are tenets adopted in the 1987 Constitution which underscores that marriage is a social institution in the foundation of the family, the commissioners, with unanimity, said that these tenets enshrined in the Constitution will not prevent Congress from enacting a divorce law. Because the divorce law does not derogate against the family, does not derogate against marriage. Still, the state is committed to protect marriage and the family. But in exceptional circumstances, where the marriage has degenerated into a dysfunctional relationship beyond rehabilitation or reconciliation, then the state has the duty to intervene and protect the spouses in distress, including their children who would agonize, being exposed to the intermittent or interminable conflict of their parents. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, I wonder whether the distinguished gentleman has consulted the constitution of other Catholic countries in Latin America, in Europe, which have similar or identical provisions with our constitution on marriage and family life. I have, Mr. Speaker, and these countries which have the same provisions or similar provisions like the Philippine Constitution all have their own divorce legislation.
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, whatever other nations will do does not affect our nation. We are not duty-bound to follow the actions taken by other nations. On that score, you might say, since we are the only state, aside from the Vatican, who does not have a divorce law, then why should we have one. Because we are a sovereign country and we decide on our own. And while we may research on what the other countries did and why, but the bottom line, Your Honor, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, is that it is us alone who will determine the issue of divorce, whether it violates the Constitution or not. And so, in this connection, Your Honor, it's clear that, if the family is the foundation of the nation and it is weakened, then weakened by the fact that marriage is not protected by the state, but is even harmed by the state and weakened by the state, it follows that when the foundation of the marriage is eroded, the foundation of the family for which the marriage is the foundation will equally be eroded, and it will go up and be the weakening of the entire nation itself. Anyway, Your Honor, let's go to the provisions of the measure.
Your Honor, before we go to other parts of the bill, when we consider guidance from other jurisdictions having similar constitutional provisions, we are not surrendering our sovereignty. We are getting adequate guidance from these other states. For example, the Constitution of Ireland provides the state recognizes the family as the natural, primary, and fundamental unit group of society. The state therefore guarantees to protect the family in its constitution and authority as the necessary basis of social order and as indispensable to the welfare of the nation and the state, among other provisions. And despite these almost identical provisions to the Philippine Constitution, Ireland, a fiercely Catholic country, has adopted 22 years ago, on June 17, 1996, their law on divorce. And let me also go to another country. This one from Latin America, the state of Colombia, which has a very similar provision to our Constitution on inviolability. It says, under Article 62 of its Constitution, Article 5 of its Constitution, the family's honor, dignity, and intimacy are inviolable. But 13 years ago, Colombia, on June 10, 2005, adopted or instituted absolute divorce in their country. Not only adopted absolute divorce, but even implemented regulations on mutual consent divorce before a notary public through Decree 4436 in November 2005. Here, again, another Catholic country having the same provisions on inviolability of marriage has their own divorce law and even allows consensual divorce through a notary public, or what is known in Latin America as notarial divorce. I am not saying that we should copy these countries' institution of absolute divorce. What I am saying is, by parity of analogy, they have the same provisions like our Constitution, and yet they allow divorce, even notarial divorce.
Be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, whether or not we will have a divorce law is our decision to make. Whatever the other states, the other nations' sentiments are or opinion are, even if they have divorce laws in their countries, that doesn't mean that they're right and we're wrong. As we earlier discussed, medical marijuana, there are states and nations that have that legalize that, but there are states also that don't legalize that. So that's why on the basis of those of us who also were against or still against the marijuana medical marijuana proposal, here in this case, we also focus on instituting or legalizing divorce in the country. And while Your Honor may be a champion for that measure, I'm sure that there are also other members in this House who are against legalizing divorce. And not only us, Your Honor, we believe that other members of this House will consult their respective districts, their respective constituents on how they feel on this measure, whether they favor or they are against this measure. For after all, we are representatives of the people, and it is not our sole decision that we have to follow. We must, in cases where our decision, personal decision, is the same as our constituents, there is no problem. But in cases where our constituents are against a particular issue, that is why I'm saying that whatever the decision of the people is, we will follow, Your Honor. Mr. Speaker.
Well, Your Honor, with respect to medical marijuana, there is a great disparity in the acceptance of the legalization of marijuana by some countries and other countries. But in the case of absolute divorce, almost 100% of the countries have their own absolute divorce law, except the city-state of Vatican and the Philippines. And if the distinguished gentleman would rely on the voice of the people, then consistent surveys would show that the majority of Filipinos, including Catholics, favor absolute divorce.
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, this representation maintains that majority of my constituents are against legalizing divorce. And so, even if you say that we're just two out of all the nations in the world who have not legalized divorce, that doesn't mean that they are right. They can all be wrong and we are right. So it doesn't follow, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, that just because there are majority of nations who have legalized divorce, and we are left only with the Vatican in being against the divorce law, then I believe they were wrong. The other nations are wrong, and we are right, Your Honor. Mr. Speaker.
We respect, Your Honor, the opinion of the distinguished gentleman and his constituents who he said are against the divorce bill. But that is an opinion of a representative, and we are submitting to the will of the majority of this chamber, as well as to the will of the majority of our people with respect to the legislation of absolute divorce and dissolution of marriage. And I hope that after this bill is put to a vote, and hopefully it gets the endorsement of the majority of the representatives in this chamber, then that should foreclose further issues or debate. Without, of course, saying that anybody can bring a case before the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, does not decide a case where there is no pending issue or actual case. So, to the statement of the distinguished gentleman that the Supreme Court has not decided on this issue, of course it has not, because there was no and there is no case brought before the Supreme Court. He may, or other members or other groups can bring that case. It is only then that the Supreme Court will resolve the issue.
Thank you for that, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker. And so, let me just say that we maintain in a democracy the will of the majority, and once this is voted upon in the House, for or against, and if this will be carried by the vote of majority, then we submit. That is how democracy works. Whatever is the will of the majority prevails. But, Your Honor, I will reserve my personal right to disagree with the majority. Even if I'm in the minority and I submit to the will of the majority, that does not mean that I have to agree to something that I disagree with in the first place. But I submit, as we all do, to the will of the majority.
We respect, Mr. Speaker, the dissenting view of the distinguished gentleman from Cebu. But just for the record, in February 2018, the SWS conducted a survey. And what was the result? 53% yes to divorce, 32% no to divorce, 15% undecided. So the majority of those polled by SWS said that they are in favor of instituting absolute divorce or dissolution of marriage in the Philippines. But nonetheless, we still respect the opposite view of the distinguished gentleman. And we do not demean him for taking such a dissenting view.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Honor, I really believe that it's one of us has to make a decision, and the survey quoted by the distinguished sponsor is only applicable as of the date of the survey. There is a continuing survey that will be made, and the survey translated into voting before this chamber and in the Senate will ultimately decide the issue, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker. So let me go to the declaration of policy, unless Your Honor wants to comment because, Your Honor, the distinguished sponsor and I have been friends here for a long time, years. We have agreed on many issues, and we have also disagreed on a couple of issues also. But despite our disagreements, we have our friendship continues, and that is why we understand each other, and we discuss things on a higher level according to the dictates of the code of conduct here in the chamber, and according to our personal sentiments and opinion.
I say amen to such declaration or statement of the distinguished representative from Cebu.
Thank you very much, distinguished sponsor, Mr. Speaker. I note that Section 2, the Declaration of Policy, has contradiction in terms. It opens with, while the state continues to protect and preserve marriage as a social institution and as the foundation of the family, it shall also give opportunity to spouses in irremediably failed marriages to secure an absolute divorce decree. So, it's either or. You cannot be yes and no on any issue. While the opening lines agree with us that we have to protect and preserve marriage as a social institution and as the foundation of the family, the second line gives opportunity to spouses to secure absolute divorce. So this is, I think, confusing, Mr. President, Your Honor, and I hope that it doesn't do anything for me. I would rather prefer that we come out on an affirmative position here, not saying one thing with the left hand and saying another with the right hand, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Mr. Speaker, distinguished gentlemen, a fair and rational reading without any bias of Section 2 of the Declaration of Policy would show that the provisions provided in this Section 2 are compatible and complementary. The state has a dual function. First, to be steadfast in protecting marriage as a social institution and as a foundation of the family. But since marriage is a human institution, despite the protection of the state, there are marriages which become dysfunctional, shattered beyond repair. So much so the state should also be duty-bound to give protection to the couples in distress. That is why we give them the option, the opportunity to have divorce. Mr. Speaker, distinguished gentlemen from Cebu, in proceedings for divorce or nullification of marriage, there is actually no more marriage to protect or to destroy, because that marriage has long perished and the couples are beyond reconciliation. But for couples in happy, harmonious, and vibrant marital relationships, this bill is nothing. It is farthest from their thought, because these happy, harmonious and vibrant couples do not need any divorce. And the state continues to protect their happy, vibrant, and harmonious relationships.
Mr. Speaker, we're well aware that concerned spouses have the option to file absolute divorce under this measure or seek legal separation, annulment of marriage, or nullification of marriage under the pertinent provisions of the Family Code of the Philippines. Which brings me to what we have discussed last night, that this representation believes that we don't need this measure is unnecessary because for those marriages really that is broken and beyond repair, there are other measures available. Annulment of marriage, legal separation. And so this is utterly unnecessary, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, because what will this give the couples to avail of this? I know that between this divorce and legal separation, the difference is obvious, while the grounds may be the same, because this was just taken, the grounds for the absolute divorce were taken, among others, from the grounds of legal separation. The main difference there is that the spouses who obtains the decree under the absolute divorce measure will be free to remarry, whereas under legal separation, they cannot remarry. I think that is the basis, Your Honor. So, is the objective really to just give the couples the opportunity to get a decree of absolute divorce to be able to remarry? This is not necessary because annulment has been there. And unlike legal separation, the marriage ties are not broken or severed, but in the annulment or nullity of marriage, it is, so they can remarry. Isn't that correct, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker?
As admitted by the distinguished gentleman, we have discussed his concern yesterday, and I have repeatedly answered that concern. I have no further addition to what I have already said, that this absolute divorce decree law will give options to the spouses, and the present family code on annulment of marriage, legal separation, and nullification of marriage do not give full relief to the couples in distress. Particularly, with respect to annulment, it refers only to circumstances which vitiated the marriage at the time it was solemnized. It does not cover supervening causes which are detrimental to the harmonious relationship between the couples, or which have really paralyzed the marital relationship into a dysfunctional relation beyond repair. But all of this I've already said yesterday.
The options, Mr. Speaker, that the distinguished sponsor stated that spouses have the option of an absolute divorce under this measure, or an annulment or nullification of marriage under the Family code. That is not entirely accurate, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, because I see here that while annulment and legal separation are different, so there are two options. But when the decree of absolute divorce here is given, that overlaps and controls already. You need not have legal separation anymore. You need not have annulment anymore because it is already provided as the course of action that are allowed under an absolute divorce. So it's just a divorce and the legal separation which will remain. But even under the grounds here, if you have obtained a legal separation after 2 years, you may use that as a ground for absolute divorce. Isn't that correct, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have answered these questions already yesterday.
Maybe the question is similar, but not really given or treated 100% the same as the previous questions given. So, in any case, let me continue with other lines, misleading lines in the declaration of policy. That to terminate a continuing dysfunction of a long broken marriage, save the children from the pain, stress, and agony consequent to their parents' constant marital clashes. So, this gives a very good picture, a rosy picture of happiness, joy, no more pain, no more aches, no more stress, no more agony once the absolute divorce is given. So the spouses and the children will be very happy to receive this action from the decree that was given, and it's all happiness, no more pain. Don't you realize, Your Honor, Mr. President, that the agony, the stress, the pain of the children may be even greater after the parents get a divorce?
Mr. Speaker, this bill is not a panacea to all problems confronting couples in distress as well as children in distress. We have never said that this is a bill which assures ultimate happiness for everybody. The distinguished gentleman is entitled to his own opinion and reading of the bill. But with respect to children, the American Psychological Association, in its article entitled An Overview of the Psychological Literature on the Effects of Divorce on Children, concludes, and I quote, "The long-term consequence for most children of divorce is resiliency rather than dysfunction." And, quote, "Research indicates that marital conflict rather than divorce or post-divorce conflict is a more important predictor of child adjustment." In Canada, where a similar study was made, the conclusion empirically derived consisted of the following: that the children of divorced parents become more resilient and adaptable. 2, they grow more self-sufficient. 3, they develop an increased sense of empathy towards others. 4, they did not take their own marriages for granted. And 5, they got to know both their parents better because of more quality time spent together, albeit separate. So these are empirical studies which would show how children of divorced parents are better off than children who are exposed to constant strife between their parents.
Again, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, conditions in our country are different from the conditions in other countries, and we should not compare orange and oranges and bananas and grapes. They're really not the same. The conditions, the culture are entirely different, Your Honor. And so let me just point out that this is a personal opinion, no empirical data, but I believe, Your Honor, that once this divorce law is passed, there will be an opening of the floodgates, whereas couples who get married and after the honeymoon, they are subjected to some differences, which is naturally there, because adjustments have to be made when you have a partner already, rather than you used to have your own decision without consulting your partner. So in business sense, it says maybe we're single, we operate a single proprietorship. We decide, nobody else. But when you are married, you have a partnership, and you do have to consult with each other. So that is why these quarrels and differences are normal after the honeymoon is over. But majority of these are settled. And back to normalcy in the family. But if we have this divorce law, there will be less patience to be exerted, less efforts for couples to try to work out their differences, that there will be a sudden decision to go to divorce without giving it a go and trying to solve the problems. There will be a majority of the couples who otherwise would not have divorced will be divorced because of this law. So, whereas if you have only you were complaining about even annulment because it takes too long. But this is not an accident that it takes too long. This was intended, in so far as I'm personally concerned, because this will give more time to the couples to cool off and solve their problems, and so that they don't have to even pursue legal separation or annulment. But once this divorce law is there and aware of the quickie divorce that will be available, the spouses will be readily encouraged to run and get a divorce decree rather than to try to cool down, work out things between each other as has been the case. In other words, in my opinion, why do you have to fix something that ain't broken? Everything's okay. Would you like the situation to really be bad and as you are sure of very good results or effects from the divorce law, you must also open your eyes that there would be more harm than good by legislating divorce.
Mr. Speaker, I have practically answered all those concerns yesterday and today. But let me just underscore 4 things. 1, generally a child is the same, whatever is the culture or environment in which he lives in. Number 2, empirical data would show that the institution of divorce in other countries did not open the floodgates to separation and divorces. Number 3, this bill does not authorize quickie divorces. As a matter of fact, under the bill, a decree of divorce cannot be based on a stipulation of facts or confession of judgment. And we should not be myopic to the fact that because it is a human institution, some marriages fail and are broken without any avenue for reconciliation and repair. But these are more the exception than the rule, and this is where the divorce decree is available.
Mr.
Speaker, Your Honor.
With the kind permission of the gentleman on the floor, we would like to participate in the discussion, especially Congressman Del Mar, who has been defending the family and marriage. We would like to take advantage of the reopening of this interpellation.
It's Congressman Del Mar and this representation who have the floor.
Yes, that's the reason why we are asking the permission of the gentleman and not the one defending this measure.
Of course,
Mr. Speaker.
Insofar as this representation is concerned, we'd be willing to let the gentleman from Manila interpellate, but that doesn't mean that I am finished with my interpellation. I can give way to him in view of some questions. Perhaps he would like to interject in the discussions, but let that not be said, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor and majority leader, that I am terminating my interpellation.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
the Honorable Del Mar may yield the floor to the Honorable Atienza. However, if he resumes with his interpellation, he can only be given 4 minutes because he is about to consume the 1 hour that is allotted to every member for debate. So with that, Mr. Speaker, we recognize the Honorable Atienza for additional interpellation with the reservation that the Honorable Del Mar may continue with this interpellation, but the period that can be granted for him in additional interpretation will only be 4 minutes, Mr. Speaker.
That is the situation.
What is
Honorable Del Mar, if you
is
want to yield.
how long do I still have time to interpolate, Mr. Speaker?
Well, at this point, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Del Mar has 3 minutes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so in that case, I cannot get extension anymore.
Yes, Mr. Bruce, under the rules.
You
I
will
would
consume
love
your 1
to.
hour.
I have so many things to bring up yet, but like anybody, you have to submit to the rules of the House. So if the gentleman, the Honorable Atienza, would like to be accommodated likewise, then I suggest that he just waits for a while. It's just 6 minutes, then he will be recognized by the Speaker and the Majority Leader. Will that be all right, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the gentleman has 3 minutes.
You may continue for 3 minutes,
Okay.
Honorable Delmar.
It is quoted here that there are limited grounds for this absolute divorce. From my going over the grounds, I can see that there are so many grounds. It's not in any way limited, because the grounds here for absolute divorce are all the grounds for legal separation, plus all the legal grounds for annulment put together, plus additional grounds of 4 grounds. So you have, what's that, 21 grounds, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. And I would have loved to go over each and every ground to dispute the representation that it is limited only to certain grounds. And from the way I look at it, it's an anything and everything can be a ground for absolute divorce. So, and on the second point, maybe before you answer, distinguished sponsor, I'll consume my 5 minutes first. On the second point, then I would like to bring up that there are virtually no definition, adequate definition of terms taken as specific grounds. And on other issues, psychological capacity, irreconcilable differences, and all that's what I meant in my pointing out that they are not well defined and can be subjected relatively to occasions or that may not be true to one but might be true to the other. So it depends on the judge, and you're giving so much power to the judge to decide not only whether the grounds for divorce are have enough basis, but even the after effects that all the property settlements, the sharing for
Honorable,
the alimony
gentleman,
or the children
Honorable Delmar,
are
your
all
time is up.
are all decided by the appropriate judge who is given
May I
all
remind
the
the
powers and
gentleman
authority.
that your 1 hour
Yes,
has
thank
expired.
you, Mr. Speaker, for your patience. I wish I had more time because I had so many substantial points yet to present. But thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader and distinguished sponsor, for giving me the opportunity to ask my questions.
Majority Leader.
Next to interpolate, Mr. Speaker, is Congressman Lito Atienza of Buhay Party List. Additional interpolation for continuation of yesterday's interpolation. Thank you very much, Mr.
The
Chair.
Honorable Lito Atienza is recognized to interpolate the sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I have no hesitancy in debating with the distinguished gentleman. But based on the record has been given his opportunity and he has already terminated.
Mr. Speaker, am I to
period
understand that
of
the gentleman is
interpellation.
refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm not
I have
refusing.
not consumed
I have-
1 hour.
I have premised my statement by saying that I have no hesitancy
Thank you.
in accepting the
you,
interpellation of the
Mr.
distinguished gentleman.
Salamat
He
po.
should not, he should disabuse his mind from saying otherwise. Just like yesterday when he said that we were lying, we were saying untruths, etc., etc., which were definitely unparliamentary.
Mr. Speaker, that's the reason why I stood up. The gentleman is having his own and eating cake and eating it too. He's asking the questions and he's answering them. Let me ask the questions and let him answer. Mr. Majority Floor Leader, thank you for the opportunity. Isa lang po naman ang tatanong ko sa kanya. Tinatanggap po ba ninyo that the word inviolable appears in the Constitution?
Yes, it does. It also appears in another constitution in Latin America.
Well, we don't care about the Constitution of Colombia, the center of drug distribution. We don't care about the Constitution of any other South American country where drugs proliferate and the families are broken. We're talking about the Philippine Constitution. Alam po ninyo, chinek ko lahat ng diksyonaryo. Thesaurus. Tinignan ko po. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng inviolable? Isa lang po. Ang sabi po ng ilan, ibig sabihin niyan, cannot be broken, cannot be interrupted, cannot be interchanged. Yan po ang wording ng ating saligang batas. Pangalawa, ano po ba mga kaparehong synonyms nitong word na ito? Ang sabi po ng ating tinanong ng mga libro ng kaalaman, ang sagot ay simple. Unassailable, sacred, hallowed, cannot even be touched. Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng inviolable. Kaya tinanong ko po sila kung nandun po ba sa ating saligang batas yun? Ang sagot po nila, nandoon. Kung nandoon po, lahat itong kanilang mga ipinipresenta sa atin ngayon ay violations of the Constitution. And I reiterate my position, I will not question him on provisions of a proposed law that is a violation of our Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you for that asking any question.
Majority
This
Leader.
bill is definitely constitutional. And we will face anyone in any forum to defend the constitutionality of this measure.
We'll face him, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Sorry po, sir.
Mr. Speaker, since there are no more of our colleagues who wish to interpellate, I move to close the period of sponsorship and debate on this particular measure. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration of this particular measure. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of a bicameral conference committee report on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 6573 and Senate Bill number 1662 on prohibiting hazing and other initiation rights of fraternities and sororities. In accordance with our rules, I move that we ratify the said bicameral conference committee report.
Any as many as in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, on March 7, 2018, we approved on second reading House Bill number 7230, With leave of the House, I move that we reconsider the approval on second reading of House Bill number 7230 for some perfecting amendments. Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we amend Section 1, page 1, line 9 of House Bill number 7230 by deleting the words Mayor Gemiliano Mel and replacing it with the word Mel. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection to the motion? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve on second reading House Bill number 7230 as amended.
As many as in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is approved on second reading.
As requested, Mr. Speaker, by the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries, through its chairperson, Representative Ben Evardone, I move that we recommit House Bill number 7296 under Committee Report number 637 to the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we include additional co-authors to House Bill numbers 7260, 7303, and 7309, 7376, and 7378, and House Resolution 1767 as contained in the lists to be submitted by the Committee on Rules.
Any objection to the motion? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn session until tomorrow, March 14, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Session adjourned until tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock.